All right, we are live. This is the March 3rd Del Norte County Office of Education and District Technology Committee meeting. And today we're going to talk about just a couple things, a little bit about digital citizenship certification for our schools, a little bit about our technology and learning data in the district, and then I think we're going to take our first question about checking out ebooks, which I'm so glad we're going to be recording this because other people will probably be interested to see that. Okay, so people will probably be joining. There's a few more who said they'd be here that aren't here yet. Tracy asked a question about how to access ebooks that are available to be checked out from any device. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. You can always email Nicole Stout, but you can also go this way to check them out digitally. But Nicole Stout manages the IMC, and you can email her and ask her also. So here is the district webpage. And when you are here, are we seeing my page now? You go ahead and click the department button. Is it going there? It didn't go, did it? Okay, hold on. Stop. Okay, so when you're on the district webpage, click on departments. It's not showing the clicking happening. Oh, there, that's the page. Sorry, I found it. Okay. Click on departments. Now it's going. All right, when you're in departments, click on Instructional Media Center. It's the purple button. That will take you to our media center. And then the link to Destiny, which is our online catalog, is down at the bottom. So Destiny Library Manager, and down at the bottom is the Destiny link. When you click on that, this is where you can check out if you're at a specific school and you want school inventory, you can click there for your school. But if you want an ebook that has been purchased through the county office, you need to click here, Instructional Media Center Library. And then you have two tabs at the top, Home and Catalog. And if you click on Catalog, you can search for a book here. So I think if we type in STEAM or whatever you might be looking for, it will show you any books we have. And if they're ebooks, they would be, you'd have a little E there. Wait, there's no E there because there's no ebooks with this topic. So let's go back and do another search for I'm going to try biography. I didn't have a search prepared, so I'm just shooting in the dark here. So all these have little books next to them. If you see the little red books, that means they're a paper book. You would see a little E if it was an ebook. I did search yesterday and I got a bunch of them, but I'm not seeing them now. I wonder if we can just search for ebooks. Sorry, I haven't used this a huge amount. Okay, there we go. If you just search for ebook, you can see all the ebooks we have available. Follett ebook, yeah. So these are all ebooks we have that you can check out digitally. And if you need help doing that, we're going to have some trainings on that, but also just email Nicole Stout. And I think that you can check them out through a website. Maybe Ryan knows more about this. We've just started using this, but I think you have to go through a different website to actually read them. Yeah, and then you log in here. And this is the login that Nicole Stout gives you. And then you can read the book, open it, and check it out on any device that you're on.
Is it available to our students?
They are, and they have logins too. And so here's another look of all the different ebooks that are available. So Nicole set up the ebook logins, the Follett logins for our students. So if you need to know what your student logins are, contact Nicole Stout.
And if I could just interject, we tried to make sure, I worked with her last year on this to make sure that the Follett logins followed the same course as our student email login, so the account name should be the same. So if your students don't have accounts yet, Nicole will work with me, and I'll make sure they mimic the email accounts, if that makes sense.
Thank you. And we have the abilities, you can see, to search for them by Lexile level, genre. It's got reading counts, accelerated reader. So we're building this up. If there's specific books you need or want, let us know. And if we can get them through our publishers, we will. But check it out and look at all the ebooks. There's tons of stuff that the kids would be interested in reading. It'd be nice to give them some free choice time to just look for books. Lots of high interest reading. You can see Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Mockingjay, but then if they're doing reports on people, so there's a bunch of these little biographies. George Lucas, Charles Dickens, Rachel Carson, a lot of good stuff here. So I'd have the kids explore it a little bit. And I can come out to classrooms and help your students do it. Or we can have a field trip to the IMC and do it here, or Nicole Stout can come out to your classroom as well, but we'd love to see kids using these books.
Do we have unlimited copies of those ebooks?
Do we have any what?
Do we have unlimited copies? You know, if 10 of my kids want to read one of those biographies, is that possible? Or
it is, but it varies by publisher. We can't just for any book say. So we may have to purchase extra copies if you want one that's unlimited. But I did talk to Follett, and they said yes, we can do that. But we're in the process of building up the library now.
Okay, and then how do the students access it from, you know, their iPads? How could they get to the site? Is it the Follett site, the Follett shelf there?
The Follett shelf site is just a website they go to, they log in, and they can access the book.
Okay, so I could do it as a QR code.
You could.
Okay. Ray?
Yeah.
I think for the iPads, there's an app. And it's a little messy, or it was last year. It's a little messy in that there's two apps. There's one to like do the search, and there's another to actually do the Follett shelf, the reading, where you are now. Like this is a web app or an app you can install on the iPad. So Tracy, if you want that, we can push that out, and I'll work with Nicole on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, could we get them on both carts, on Deja's cart and my cart?
Yeah, I'll make a note to do that. I'll try to get it out there by next week, sometime soon. How about that?
That sounds great. Thanks.
Yeah, and so like I say, it's new. I know we've had it for a while, Tracy, so you're aware we've had this. We should be not new anymore, but if I don't want to go over the details of how to access it because I'm not clear, and I want to have that really lined out clear in my head before I tell you exactly how to do it. But like Ryan said, there is an app we can push out for iPads. There's the website you can get on any computer, and so kids can get to the books. But if you're interested and you're watching this and you want to have ebooks available for your kids, contact me or contact Nicole Stout, and we will make sure your class gets access to books. All right, any questions? All right, next let's do an update on digital citizenship status. And there's a couple other people here who've been working on it that aren't here right now, but so I'll talk a little bit about that. But let's start with Steph, because I know Steph has some fantastic news.
I gotta figure out how to unmute me.
I'm muted.
Okay. What, I've got the digital citizenship status. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah. They did it. She did the whole process, submitted it, and she was awarded certification. So Margaret Keating Elementary is now a digital citizenship certified school. And they got their pizza party, so they had pizza. How'd that go?
Yeah, and anybody who's filling out that application, I would recommend that they look first at what is required, gather it all, then perhaps go to the application and look that application over, and then go gather more things that you need. And then just know, I did it all on iPad, and so I had to do it all in one setting. And also, they totally accepted like pictures of documents instead of scanning them or something like that. because like they have a whole application they want signed by the principal, but they want a copy of it, and I'm like, how do you do that? And so took a picture of it and attached that, and they wanted evidence of the kids' work, and I took pictures of that, so it all worked.
Excellent, good job. That's good advice too. All right, Tracy, how are you doing at Redwood?
We're doing well. I finally, I just did the same thing where I was starting to enter the information and realized that it doesn't save it for you after you start typing it in. So I lost it a couple times. So I printed out the hard copies, and I figure I'll write it all down and then I'll type it in once before I'm ready to submit it. And I've gotten all of the artifacts that we need now, and I have all the teachers that completed it, and now I'm just filling in all the information. So we got second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and sixth grade. So I think that was a pretty good participation.
Yeah, and we just had Becky and I, who are the only teachers that answered my email as to if they're teaching it or not. I think the other teachers are, they just didn't answer me.
Yeah.
And they have really random questions on that application, like, does your principal have a common sense account? Like, if I hadn't had his phone number to text him while I was filling out the application, I would have never known, you know?
Yeah. That's why I was just in the process of doing it. I didn't know I had to collect all of that information. So yeah, I think that you gave out great advice, because I'm finding the same thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I like that they ask, sorry, Steph, I like that they ask if principals have accounts. They're really trying to make sure it's school-wide and that everybody's aware and knowledgeable about the Common Sense Media. Steph, how long did it take from when you submitted to when you were notified?
Oh, it took 2 weeks, but I think it went straight to my junk mail. So I emailed them and I said, hey, I put my application in like 3 weeks ago and I haven't heard anything. And they're like, oh, well, we emailed you this, and they attached it and sent it to me, and I had never received it. So I think it might go straight into our spam. I'm not sure. But it really was just weeks, and I figured it out by 3.
So
go ahead,
if you want to let me know the address or forward me the mail that you got, Steph, from them, I can make sure we add that address to our whitelist for our spam filter, so that doesn't happen in the future. So if you want to forward me the actual...
Sure, I'll email whatever.
Yeah, I'll need the exact address. So.
Yep.
Cool, thank you. All right, so then hopefully soon, Redwood will be getting a pizza party. And I know that Lisa Sedgwick at Mary Peacock emailed me today that she's done, I think, and just looking to make sure she has everything before she submits. So hopefully she'll get that submitted soon and hear back relatively quickly. All right, any other comments or questions about digital citizenship? All right, moving on to our last thing then. I wanted to go over a little bit about our BrightBytes data and talk a little bit about that. And I know some of you may have heard about BrightBytes data or been logged in before, possibly, but let's see here. I'm going to share my screen. So this is our BrightBytes data that we collect twice a year, and that's when your students in grades 3 and up take the technology and learning surveys that we put on everybody's website. So the information we get back, there's no names associated with it, and every 3rd through 5th grader takes the same survey, 6th through 8th graders take the same survey, and then 9th and above take the same survey. So it's a general grouping of similarly aged students. And the one piece of data I wanted to talk about today and get your input on was a little bit about our classroom data, and I'll show you here. When you look at our dashboard, and you can get logins to look at this data for your school site. I'm looking at countywide right now, but we have a score of 1,048 overall, and you can see these color-coded areas of technology and learning in our district. And this drills down into a lot of detail. Classroom, access to technology and to the internet, skills, foundational, online, and multimedia skills, and then the environment, procedures and policies, support, professional learning, and beliefs. And like I say, there's tons of information here, but for today I just wanted to focus on classroom, which is one of our lowest scoring categories. And if you click on classroom, it takes you to more detailed information. And I was going to look here at the different categories. You see the 4 C's: digital citizenship, assessment, assistive technology, and parents. I'm expecting to see some growth in teacher and student digital citizenship with you guys working to get your schools certified. It's definitely being taught more and discussed more, so I expect to see these 2 areas go up. When you click them, you can see a little more detail on the information that's available. So we're working on that, and I expect to see those go up. But for today, I wanted to focus on student use of the 4 C's: critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication. And I was going to look at student creativity. Click on that, we get more detail. And it's one we're scoring pretty low in. And so since we have elementary teachers here on the call today, I thought we'd go over this piece of data. But if you look at how often students are being asked, in elementary students, 3rd through 5th grade, are being asked to upload art, music, movies, or webcasts, 61% surveyed said never. They're never being asked to upload any art, music, movies, or webcasts. And I know with Steph and Tracy here, you guys do make movies with your students and art and other things, but your classroom is not typical. And so that is one thing we have to work on our school sites, is getting kids access to this, because you can see that's a lot of kids who are not getting these basic skills, which are foundational skills really for moving on and doing other things. The second piece of data is students are asked to create animations, demonstrations, models, or simulations. 57% said never. 18% said every few months. So we only had 13% said monthly and 12% at least weekly. Was that 75% of our students almost never or never are asked to create animations, demonstration, models, or simulations? And it's important because I think when students are asked to create those things using digital tools, we close the digital divide among students who don't have access at home. And we also encourage problem solving, critical thinking in our students, and creativity when they're creating these things. So really important skills that we're not addressing. That's just a couple of them.
Hey, Ray?
Yeah.
Is that just digitally with digital tools, or is that any kind of art? I mean, I guess the uploading has to be digital, but that second one, the students are asked to create animations, is that have to be with digital tools, or is that what the question was?
It's looking for with digital tools, you know, because an animation would need to have some software or digital component to create it. And so I think it's mainly, yeah, it's focusing on with digital tools. So digital simulations, I know the high school pays for digital simulations for science labs. They participate in them, but they're not creating them. And that is a huge difference from where we used to be with technology, a lot of consumption, to where we need to go with technology, which is creating. So this is where things like computer science, coding, programming can come in also, not to mention things like Tracy's doing, stop motion animation, or the green screen demonstrations her students have done. Her students did a science lab demonstration with a green screen background, putting them in an actual lab setting. So it's definitely technology-based. Steph or Tracy, do you have any questions or comments about this piece of data?
I don't know how many have access to, I mean, some people don't have access to the mobile devices. I think it might be kind of hard to, it's easier for us, I think, with the iPads, because they can, you know, go anywhere with them and take them anywhere in the classroom or to other classrooms and move around to make those stop motion videos. And I know it's possible with the laptops, but could it have anything to do with lack of devices?
Yeah, I certainly think that could be part of it. You know, if they don't have access, if their only access is a shared lab on campus that they have to stop, leave the classroom and go to, that certainly reduces the opportunity to access these types of things. So that's part of it, but honestly, we have quite a few devices in the district: laptops, computers, desktops, iPads. And so I think this could be increased even without adding new tech. And I would also wonder if the tech that's in the rooms is being used for creating animations, demonstrations, models, or simulations, or is it being used for, math activity, math games, or reading eggs, or some dog, which really asks kids to consume and not as much create.
You know what? I was going to say the same thing about the having the iPads. My teaching partner Becky has the Chromebooks, and we were talking just recently about the testing and how I need some Chromebooks to do the testing because testing's horrible on the iPads. And I keep saying, but we need the iPads because the iPads are what I do all the creative things on. And so there's sort of that combination that is going to be perfect when I have half of class set of Chromebooks and half a class set of iPads, and we'll be able to create things. The other thing is I don't know if people know to pick your brain, Ray, because when I have a time spot and I need something to do, you know that I email you and say, what's the cool new thing that I should try? So I don't know how we can get more people to know they should just ask you.
Well, and I agree, because it's like you say, I've got an hour, I've got this topic, what do I do? And so it's getting the information to the teachers so they have the skill set and the tools available to start doing these things. And so I think my question for you guys, and everybody who's going to watch this later, is come back next time we meet with some information from your sites. What I'm going to do is send you these 2 graphs to share with your staffs at your schools and see what people say. What can we narrow down to 3 things that your site might need to increase this? Is it training? Is it in-classroom demonstrations, model lessons? Is it tech? Is it purchasing programs? What is it that you need to increase this? Because if you look at really challenging kids to think critically and be creators and move up the SAMR model into really modifying and redefining our lessons, not just substituting tech for paper and pencil, this is the way we have to go to get our kids really trained for things they're going to be coming in contact with later on. So that's what I'll do, is I will send you a doc with these this data and these graphs on it, and a question that you can maybe share with your staff, and then come back next time with some answers about what their needs are to start moving this direction. And it may be, what's an animation? That's okay. We need to know what teachers need so we can start providing that to them.
I think a lot of times I've heard it's a time thing, that they have so many standards to meet, and I think it's hard to think outside of the box, that you don't have to cover the standard with a worksheet. It could be with one of these creation apps that we're using, or a different way to show that they've met the standard.
Right.
So,
And
the idea is out there.
Time that we're using to do some fun things like that is sort of an intervention time. So Becky takes some kids that need some intervention, and I take the other kids and do tech with them. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and recently I saw Sherry Thompson. I'll mention Sherry. She, with her first grade, had them take a picture of a page in a book and then annotate or write on the picture what the nonfiction text features were. So this was something she could do as remediation to help those kids that didn't get it in class, and also increase the tech skills. So, sometimes it's as simple as showing people, and then she has her kids do that and then upload it to Google Classroom. I think she was able to do that. So even first grade students can upload art, can upload images or video to the teacher and turn it in. And so I think maybe a sharing day, or anyway, I'm interested to know what your sites want, what would be helpful. Maybe it's we bring examples around and show them. We offer specific training. Maybe we come into classrooms. Maybe we go observe everybody. Even the tech committee members might benefit from going and seeing other tech committee member classrooms or other classrooms at their school sites. So, all right, I will send out that information to everyone on the tech committee, and then that's your assignment for next month, is to come back with input from your sites about how we might move this up, because we have March, April, May, and part of June. Well, May we'll do the survey again, but it'd be nice to see us move the needle on this piece of data by next year sometime. So maybe if we start talking about it now, work on training everybody and getting support next year, and then next year at this time see this move and change a little bit. Okay, any questions or comments, Ryan?
Oh, I just want to say thanks for the comment on the two devices. You know, the good parts of iPads and the good parts of Chromebooks. I like them both. iPads are much more difficult for us to manage. Chromebooks are much easier to deploy. But Ray and I have been talking, and that's the feedback that I need to hear. That kind of stuff, you know. And Tracy, you guys have Chromebooks up there, but do you guys ever swap around or use them? You guys just stick with your iPads, and the Chromebook teachers stick with their Chromebooks?
I think so, yeah. We can use it for most everything in the third grade classroom, but I know it wouldn't be the same in a fifth and sixth grade classroom. They need to do more typing, and we have been using the little keyboards with the iPads, so that's how we've done all of our docs and achieved everything that we need to do. But I don't know that it would be the same in the older classrooms, because they seem to really like the Chromebooks over iPads. But I know for ease of use, it's been so much better for the third graders to use iPads.
You think just the touch interface versus the keyboard kind of thing for that age group?
Yeah, and just the apps that we've been able to use have been, I mean, all of them have been user-friendly, and the kids have picked up almost instantly. So.
Right. It'd just be interesting to, you know, I don't know if you guys ever talked about doing a swap, or I don't know. I guess that maybe if it works, it works. We don't want to break it, but I'd just be curious to see how the younger kids do with Chromebooks. And
I like the idea of having, half iPads and half Chromebooks, because it would force us to use. I think it's important that the kids get used to using multiple devices and have experience in different devices. And there's so much that you can do with a Chromebook. I just haven't done it yet.
Okay. So a mixed cart environment in a perfect world, it sounds like. Maybe.
Yeah, it would be great.
Okay.
And I agree, because literally Google Drawing is a huge tool to allow students to do all kinds of things, but you can't do it on the iPad. And there's other things you can do, but of course, we're Google Apps School, and Google Drawing is a unique tool, and so that mixed device really allows us to do things that the iPads are great at. The mobility, getting kids out of a desk and going different parts of the room or different places on campus and doing images, video, webcasts, all that type of stuff, recording, hugely powerful, very hard to do with a laptop or a Chromebook. But like I said, there's other things that we can do on the Chromebook a little easier that aren't always available on the iPad. So definitely a mixed bag is ideal.
Well, even Minecraft that you can use the laptop for.
Oh, you broke up there. Can you say that again?
That you can't use Minecraft on a Chromebook at all. So.
Right, and we are using it on the iPads already.
Mm-hmm.
In case people don't know, you might want to see, I don't know I haven't been to Tracy's classroom yet. They just got Minecraft Pocket Edition, but Vic Schoonover has her, what grade is she? Second?
She's third grade.
Third grade. She has her third graders doing math arrays in Minecraft and submitting them via Google Classroom, all on the iPad. So, pretty cool stuff. All right, if there are no other comments, that's it for this week, or this month, and then we'll see you guys next month. I believe the date for the next Tech Committee meeting is April 14th. Yes, April 14th at 4. And at that time, we're going to have a draft of the new form to submit apps and websites for approval. Because we're really focusing, as we mentioned before, on student privacy. And Brian has done a lot of work on looking at privacy policies for websites and apps, and what sites do protect our student information and what sites don't. And so we want to start getting lists available so that teachers know what's okay to use with their students and what is not. And we're hoping to have a draft of that next time for you guys to take back to your school sites, and we'll also be sending it to grade levels and start looking at that.
Can you send out that video also that kind of explained the importance of, didn't you show us a video at one of these meetings?
I did, and the link is in one of our recorded broadcasts, so I will send you the link to the video.
Okay, just because it would be great to show that to teachers at one of our staff meetings, say this is really the reason behind it,
Yeah.
just to make life difficult.
Right. It's available at On the Line CA, onthelineca.org. But I can also send that to you. But you probably have to email me to remind me.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.